Hello, and welcome to this history tutorial on Nazi propaganda and censorship. This is for Edexcel GCSE Weimar and Nazi Germany. Today we will cover how the Nazis used propaganda and censorship, as well as German culture and the arts to control the German people, including the role of Joseph Goebbels as Minister for Propaganda and Enlightenment. In Hitler's Germany, the Nazi Party wanted to control and influence the attitudes of the German people. It did this by propaganda, political advertising designed to get people to think in a certain way, and through the use of censorship, banning information or ideas, and also controlling culture and the arts. In 1933, Joseph Goebbels became the Minister for Propaganda and Enlightenment. In this role, he coordinated Nazi policy towards the media, sport, culture, and the arts, so that attitudes which Nazis opposed were censored, and the attitudes which they supported were promoted. The arts and sport were used by the Nazis as methods of propaganda. Goebbels set up the Reich Chamber of Culture, and all musicians, writers and actors were forced to join. Any people that were thought unsuitable, for example Jews, were banned. The Nazis used the media, including the press and the radio, to spread their propaganda across the country. Newspapers flourished under the Nazis, as long as they reported news the Ministry of Propaganda agreed with. Journalists were sometimes told what they could publish, and sometimes given direct instructions what to write, and any newspapers which opposed Nazi views were closed down. All radio stations were under Nazi control, with Hitler and other Nazis making frequent broadcasts. Cheap, mass-produced radios were sold to the public and placed in cafes, factories and schools, so that as many Germans as possible could listen. By 1939, 70% of German homes had a radio. As well as the media, the Nazis used rallies and sports events to spread their message. A mass rally was held each year at Nuremberg to create a sense of German unity and advertise the strength of the Nazi Party. At sports events, stadiums were covered in Nazi symbols and victories were hailed as victories for Nazi ideals. All teams had to make the Nazi salute during the national anthem. Hitler's best opportunity to use sport as propaganda and to show Nazi Germany in a good light was the 1936 Berlin Olympics. The Nazis used the Olympic Games to promote Germany by ensuring they impressed international visitors with a well-organised propaganda event showing Nazi efficiency. The Olympics were filmed so footage of Nazi Germany was seen worldwide, from a carefully staged opening ceremony and an impressive Olympic village, to the Nazi salutes, flags, symbols and chanting in what at the time was the world's largest stadium, holding 110,000 people. The German investment paid off, with them winning 33 medals, more than any other country. Finally, the Nazis influenced the German people through control of culture and the arts. In September 1933, they set up the Reich Chamber of Culture, which covered art, architecture, literature, music, theatre and film. Its role was to make sure cultural activities in Germany were consistent with Nazi ideas. Under the Chamber of Culture, the Nazis set up a Reich Chamber of Visual Arts. Any artist who refused membership were forbidden to teach, produce or sell art. In 1936, over 12,000 paintings and sculptures were removed from art galleries, including works by Picasso and Van Gogh, as they were seen as unsuitable. The Nazis also disliked the modern, futuristic architecture of the Weimar Republic. They wanted buildings which made Nazi Germany seem powerful. Albert Speer was Hitler's personal favourite architect. He built large buildings that gave an impression of power and permanence. The Nazis also tried to control music and the performance arts. Jazz music was banned as it was seen as the work of black people and therefore inferior. Some music was promoted as it emphasised aspects of German culture which the Nazis liked, for example Wagner and Beethoven. Goebbels also exerted control over the film industry. Before films were shown in cinemas, there was a 45-minute official newsreel publicising Germany's achievements. The Nazi Party also made its own films, some for entertainment with an underlying message and some just pure propaganda. The Nazis also had strong ideas about literature and which books should be available to the German people. No new books could be published without approval from the Chamber of Culture, and millions of books were taken from universities and public libraries and burned. For example, books written by Jews. In summary, the Nazis used propaganda, censorship, as well as German culture and the arts to control the German people. This control was orchestrated by Joseph Goebbels as Minister for Propaganda and Enlightenment. Goebbels used the press and the radio to ensure Nazi messages were spread across the country. The Nazis also used rallies and sports events to promote the Nazi Party. And finally, the Nazis controlled people's lives through various aspects of culture and the arts, including art, architecture, music, film and literature. To get further help, visit history.outwood.com, see your teacher in school, or check out quiz.outwood.com for those sweet revision quizzes. You can also follow the Outwood Humanities team on Twitter at OGAT Humanities. Until next time, that was a little bit of history.